Hi, I'm Bruce Sawalski. I'm author of Canadian Wilderness Survival and Chief Instructor of the Boreal Wilderness Institute. And today, I'd like to talk about using bear spray in cold and adverse weather conditions. If you like this kind of life-saving information that you find on this channel, then please support me by liking this video and following me on YouTube. So, the first thing I want to talk about is pronunciation. Now, normally pronunciation isn't important, but of all the things in my bear spray videos that I've heard about is my pronunciation of pepper. Not the word pepper, but when I describe the actual working ingredient of bear spray, and that is capsaicin, which is part of the genus Capsicum. And effectively, this is pepper. And I'll refer to it as bear spray because that's all that's really important. Just to understand that the pronunciations out here of Latin words aren't really important. What's important is the knowledge I'm going to give you in this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is effectiveness of bear spray. So when we talk about bear spray is 95% effective. And there's been a couple of studies now, both in Alaska and the continental United States, that effectively look at the effectiveness of bear spray and how good it is. Also, less than 90% of the individuals who use bear spray are uninjured, and those injuries are less. So, what I need to talk about is a little bit of a study that came from Dr. Tom Smith of Brigham Young University. And Tom Smith did a study on the factors affecting bear spray performance. This came out in October of 2020, and that means, for my case, this is April we're filming, so about 6 months ago. And one of the big things is he looked at the actual effectiveness in bad weather. So we used to say that bear spray stopped working at 0 degrees C, but that's not actually the case. His study proved that bear spray was effective down to 25 below Celsius, and good to at least 40 degrees C. So that's a very large temperature range. But one of the things we have to understand is the difference between total range of bear spray and effective range. So the total range of bear spray is somewhere about 10 meters. In other words, I take my bear spray, I pull it out, I fire it off, out that way, about 10 meters, I will get bear spray out. In other words, the pepper will go out that far with its propellant. But the effective range of bear spray is 0 to 5 meters. That's it. Less than the range or distance of a school bus. That's all we have. What did he find in his study? Well, first of all, and most importantly, at cold temperatures. So we're not talking about cold temperatures a day like this, below 0 and down. The bear spray narrowed and it aerosolized. So it became less aerosolized. And therefore, we need to do what with that? We need to do a better pattern, which I'll talk about at the end. How about wind? Well, no surprise, a tailwind, like a wind from behind going this way at the bear, improves the range. But with a head or a crosswind like I'm getting now, I'm getting the wind coming across this direction here, it's going to decrease to 2 meters. So if I have a wind, I'm going to have to get closer to the bear. As well, a number of my colleagues use in the wildlife awareness industry use a moving target for their bears. And what they do is they have the bear come in, and what do they find? Well, they found that effectively it decreases your range to less than 3 meters. So by the time you can actually get that bear spray out and make it effective, you're dealing with a 3 meter distance. So what happens? Cold temperatures, head or crosswind, moving or charging bear, our distances drop down to less than 3 meters. That's the way it is. And what I'll do is I'll show you a demo in a moment where we're going to have the bear effectively charging me out of the woods, and my range will be very short. But I'll show you how well and how effective it is. One of the things to go over, and I will link to a bear spray video that says this is exactly, it's a 2-second blast in a circle. That's what you have to learn. That's the range. My bear spray is on my right-hand side, so my hand goes here, in a 2-second blast, bang, and I'll fire it off. And you'll see that in a moment to understand how effective that 2-second blast and the circle pattern is. So, Are there factors that influence bear spray performance? Absolutely. The biggest one is temperature, but we can use bear spray down to 25 below. And why is that important? Because bears are starting to get up year-round. And our bear season is starting at the latest mid-March in almost all areas in North America now, and slowly working its way back. And because it doesn't end until mid-December, and in some areas the bears aren't going to bed at all, as you get farther south into the continental United States, it's more important to use bear spray, but understand how to make it work. So now we're going to go for a little bit of a walk, and what I want to simulate is a bear charging me from the right-hand side. So come on, let's go to the woods. So here I am walking along the trail, and I hear some noise from the side. Hey bear! Hey bear! See how fast that went off? That stops a bear right there. Now this bear is a little black bear. It simulated him coming out of the woods and me firing out that bear spray. And you notice how fast that blast was. If this doesn't have a clip like this bear spray does, I have to actually reach down and grab it. Now I'm also moving back a little bit, and one of the reasons I'm moving back, putting the clip back on, is this still has a couple more shots of bear spray. You will notice just a little bit of pepper on that edge, so I stay away from that. And I'm going to put this back in my sheath and then pick up my walking staff and leave the area, because if I pepper sprayed here, the bear will be attracted to that area again. But you notice how fast that bear left and how quick that worked, and that's why pepper spray is effective. You can see the big cloud of pepper that came out on that bear. Now that bear didn't move very fast because he's really a cardboard target, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is that 2-second circular blast that I've trained myself to use out here in the wilderness would have saved my life. There's no harm, no foul, but it's going to drive a bear away. And then I'm just going to start heading back down the path, and I'll keep an eye back on to make sure there's no bear behind me. So today we talked about the effectiveness of bear spray in cold and adverse weather conditions. And one of the things I saw was how effective that pattern was and how effective the quick draw and having your bear spray ready to be able to pull out is. So if you like this useful life-saving survival knowledge you learned on this channel, please support me by following me on YouTube, listening and liking other videos on this channel, and by following me at the Boreal Wilderness Institute on Facebook. Thank you, stay safe, and if you're stranded out here in the Canadian wilderness, just stop and survive.